Well, good morning, beautiful. Sorry to those of you on Instagram. It was not playing nicely today, but we are live and it is great to be here with you. So, make sure that you explore all of the different platforms that I stream live on, just in case that should happen. Well, this is a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus, and it is exciting to be here with you this morning. We're going to spend about the next 45 minutes together working on some beauty on the inside and some beauty on the outside. Now, what are we going to be doing today? Well, first off, my name is Wendy Merritt. It is great to be with you. Today, we're going to be channeling our inner Beetlejuice. This week, well, actually yesterday, was my coworker Rachel's birthday. Happy birthday, Rachel. And this was her special request. So today, we are going to be channeling that inner Beetlejuice by using the Culture palette from Juvia's Place and a couple of graphic liners. And, of course, there'll be glitter. Mainly because Rachel's involved, but there'll be glitter. Okay, so remember that you can always ask any question that you'd like while we are live online. Whatever platform you're on, you just ask that in the chat. That will hopefully theoretically come through to me, and I will do my best to get that question asked and answered, whether that is something about the Bible verses that we're working on, have been working on, or it's a question about the makeup that we're using today. Any way you turn it, just ask that bad boy. Okay, so our easy makeup theme for today is, what's the best Beetlejuice makeup hack for a woman over 40? So let's see what we got. So go ahead and grab your lashes, because we're going to need them, your palette and your brushes, and get on back here. A little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. Can't wait. All right, so our foundation verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And then all of the scriptures that we're using in season 3 are coming from the book Color Me James, available in 3 different formats. You got an ebook, which is a PDF, a spiral bound, my favorite, or the paperback, which is available from Amazon. And coming soon, for those of you who may not want the complete walkthrough of James, it is being divided out. So there'll be 5 different books, one for each chapter. And then the complete set, which is the one that we're working on now. So for those of you who want to do a bite at a time, or maybe you just want to do one chapter, that will be available to you soon. All right. So last week we worked on this verse here. And let me see if I can get that song queued up for you. And I really liked it. Although this song got me slapped by Google because evidently you can't use words like harlot and prostitute and not get in trouble. So anyways, let's listen to this song. I love the way this turned out. A little bit of anyway, let me just let you play it. Well, there we go.
Joshua sent out 2 men real low, sneaking into Jericho, just to know. Found shelter with Rahab, a risky spot, but she heard what the Lord had already brought. She hit him up top, her heart aligned, belief in her soul, actions combined. Jericho harlot, wasn't her action in hiding God's spies and helping them escape? That sea
All right, I'll let you listen to the rest of that. But I told you I love that one. My mom and I work together with the songs every week, and when we heard this one, I could hear my dad dancing in the background. Oh, and yes, the answer to that is you can hear my dad dancing. All right. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed that verse and that song, which is all designed to help you get that verse memorized. So, since this week is the end of chapter 2, we're going to be looking over all the verses that came from chapter 2. And just a moment of confession, I do not know chapter 2 the way that I knew chapter 1. So this week I'm going to really use to fine tune those memorization skills and really get that chapter 2 nailed down. So I hope that you will join me with that. So let's go ahead and say this verse together, whether it is something that you memorized or you're just reading the words off the screen. Let's just say that together. The same with Rahab, the Jericho harlot. Wasn't her action in hiding God's spies and helping them escape? Oh my word, words are hard this morning. That seamless unity of believing and doing what counted with God. The very moment you separate body and spirit, you end up with a corpse. Separate faith and works, you get the same thing, a corpse. And yeah, that word corpse might have been what got me banned too. So anyways, lots of fun, you know. I have never understood why people will say, why do you not read the Bible? Oh, because it's boring. Oh, really? Well, if you feel like you need some excitement and want to get Google slapped, just post a Bible verse. Here you go. Okay, so moving on. We are working with the culture palette from Juvia's Place this morning. Wait till you see what we've got going on. It is going to be fun. We got some graphic liners, and all of these products can be found in the show notes that you're going to be looking at. It'll hopefully come on later today, this evening. So you'll see all of those links. And then that can be found on a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. Find the video for today, and then in the show notes it'll have the links to everything that's on there, and it'll also tell you the brand. Find it wherever you want. All the links just about. If I can find it on Amazon, that's in there. Trusted source for you. Easy to return if it doesn't work for you, you don't like it, or you're allergic to it, or whatever. I put that together just to make it a little bit easier on you. So at the bottom of our screen now, we're going to have the verse from last week, scrolling through because mainly it won't let me post an entire chapter in that scrolling across the bottom of your screen. So let me get back over here, get the chat loaded. So go ahead and give me a shout out where you are coming from this morning, and then let us jump in. Now, we'll tell you, eyeshadow is going to take a little bit of a minute today, so we're going to kind of rush through putting on our foundation and everything so we have a little more time for putting on our foundation. So let's get over here. Here we go. So we're going to start out with the Professional Primer, and this is a mattifying primer. So we are going to just give a glue at that. There we go. Between the fingers. There we go. Good morning. Okay, so I mentioned my coworker, friend, and birthday girl, and this is her here. Everybody say good morning and happy birthday to Rachel. Woo woo! I know it was yesterday, but you know, girl, I gotta embarrass you somehow. So I don't have any salt for you to throw over your shoulder while you sing a song with crazy hat on. So there we go. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and put our primer on today because these are pretty vivid. So we're gonna use actually primer twice because we're doing a cut crease. So you'll see that later on. So we're gonna grab that Juvia's Place I Prep I Prime eye primer. I'm the shade 1. We're going to get just a little bit of that to start out with. There we go. And this will help the colors, which are largely green and purple that we'll be using today. That's going to help them be more vibrant, last better, not crease, all the good things, all the good things. Okay, so let us go ahead and grab now our concealer. I'm using the Bye Bye Under Eye from IT Cosmetics. This is the shade 11. Rachel's just informed me that her birthday is all month long. Okay, so we're going to, oh, that's Wesley talking in the background there. There we go. We're going to get that under here. And let's just get rid of any redness that we've got going on. Yes, it is so true. What you hear, Wesley. So yes, the lights in the background are still not working because of the cord Wesley chewed. At some point I'll get around to getting on Amazon and getting that cord ordered so we can have our neon lights in the background. But for right now, we're just going to enjoy the other two neon lights that we have. All right, I'm going to grab that beauty blender. It has already been hydrated, so it's already been wet, wringed out, and so now it is good to go. So let's just blend out that concealer. There you go. We're just going to hide any redness that we've got, any dark spots, any hyperpigmentation, any acne scarring, whatever you got going on that you don't want to see. You just use that concealer to get rid of that. Now we're going to do a full coverage foundation today. This is the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation. I was like, I knew matte was in the end of there somewhere. Okay, so we're going to take the round end of that beauty blender and we're going to get just, oh, that's way too much. Gotta love it. There we go. We're going to get just a little bit of that on there. A little bit of this goes a long way, and this is really too much, but we have what we have, so let's just go with it. So we're going to dab that around. And I just kind of like to start with some dots, and then we'll just blend it around. Blending up into that concealer that you put on. Going up around your lips today. That's going to be especially important because today we're using a little bit of a glittery gloss, and on mature lips that has a tendency to kind of bleed out a little bit. So we're going to use that foundation right around the edge of those lips to try to prevent that from happening as much as possible. In addition to, today's lipstick is a very luscious purple, and we just want to make sure the lines on the edge are just nice and clean and stay that way. So we're going to go over the edge of those lips there. And then we're going to blend that out onto the chin. There we go. Around your eyebrows. Yeah, that's true. You can still hear a little bit of that, that cold that I've had. It's just kind of a thing. So periodically you may see me have to blow my nose. I'm going to try to go off camera to do such a thing like that. There we go. Nobody needs to see all that. Okay. You know, the worst thing about blowing your nose is that it takes off your makeup. Okay, who's on that? It's so irritating. There should be like a tissue made. I don't know, maybe like suction cups that go to your nostril that keep you from messing up your makeup. We need like the makeup person's tissue. Okay, yes. I know. Stay focused, Winnie. Stay focused, Winnie. We've got eyes to do. Okay. So now that we've got that done, we're going to set that. I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier, and this is the translucent loose setting powder ultra blur tone up in rose. So we got that going on, and then we're going to use our Juvia's Place. I almost said triangle. That's not the word. Anyways, so here we go. We got a little bit of that in the reservoir there. Just going to slide our fingers into where the point is up. Set that in. Tap it out. There we go. Just pressing that into that foundation. Then we're going to flip it around and go to the wider end. And then let's get the cheeks there. So we're going to set it in, tap it out. sure we get that foundation that we put under the chin and that blend out as well. There we go. Let's go ahead and press that in, tap that out for our forehead. Just setting every place that we put that foundation. Okay, now we are all set. We are doing good. We're gonna have plenty of time to work on our eyes. So now we're gonna grab a highlighter brush. We're gonna grab a contouring brush, and actually it'd be this way. And then we're also gonna grab that blush brush here. This is an IT Cosmetics foundation brush. This is a traditional blush brush from MAC, and this is a highlighter brush from Anastasia. So let us start out with this. We're gonna use our KVD Light Shade Plus Light refillable powder. Let's start out with the flat side of that. Let's get a little bit of lows in here. Now today, for sure, this is definitely going to be a little dramatic. So we want to make sure that our contouring equals the dramatic nature of our eyeshadow. Otherwise, it'd be a little weird. Okay, this is getting a little... I know, I haven't bought the cord, and then I haven't got my replacement palette, so whatever. Well, I'll get to it eventually. Here we go. We're going under the jawline from the corner to the corner of the mouth, corner ear of the ear. There you go. Same thing on the other side. We're going to still use that skinny side that we're on now. We're going to go from the corner of the eye down to the tip of the nose, and then under that tip. I'm going to tap into that darker color here. Let's just hit that outside corner a smidge, just to give a little more drama. There you go. Now we're going to grab I've been enjoying the Aflano palette, so let's grab that one. Today, because we got so much happening with our eyeshadow though, we're going to pull it back a little bit and use this lighter pink color rather than this one here. So we're going to use this one here and then this highlighter here. So let me go ahead and put that brush back. We're going to grab the blush brush. We're just going to go in here a couple of swipes. These are very pigmented. Right there on the top of that, right in the middle. One more swipe right there. Tip of the nose, chin. There you go. I told you we were going to be moving along at a pretty good clip. Grab your highlighter brush right here in that. Top of that cheek, right on top of that blush. And then we're going to go down the nose, get that tip really good. And then right there. Let's make sure we get a nice, good impact on that Cupid's bow there. There we go. Okay. Woo woo! We are chugging along. Okay. Now that we got that, let's go ahead and say our verse together, which should be scrolling across the bottom of our screen. And then we will jump into our lips because they're gonna be fun. Okay. Well, as soon as the verse rolls around, because this one, there we go. This verse was a little bit on the longer side. Here we go. So we're saying that verse together. The same with Rahab, the Jericho harlot. Wasn't her action in hiding God's spies and helping them escape? That seamless unity of believing and doing what counted with God. The very moment that you separate body and spirit, you end up with a corpse. Separate faith and works, you end up with the same thing, a corpse. And that is coming from James chapter 2, verse 25 and 26. Okay, so we're going to be using 3 things on our lips today. Let me show you. So So we're going to use a purple. This is an amethyst, a NYX suede matte lip liner, and this is the shade Amethyst. We're going to be using the KBD Everlasting Liquid Lipstick, and this is the shade Roxy, so a nice purple. And then once that dries down, we're going to top that off with, I hope you have yours ready, Rachel. So the LA Colors, this thing is called Beautifully Bewitched. It's a glitter palette for face and body, and we're going to be hanging out in this color here. So let us start out with that purple liner, get our lips lined out. We're going to go from there, and I need to give it a little bit of a sharpen because we want a nice point on that. Okay. This is going to help us to have a nice clean edge. So we're going to start out in that Cupid's bow first. And yes, I have used, great question. I have used a eyeliner on my lips before. Sometimes they do great. If it's a little more of a firm eyeliner, you can get away with it. So do what you got to do. Here we go. And then we're going to round that out to the outside corner. And I gave that a little bit of an extra swing outside. There you go. And then let's go ahead and give us a point of reference here in the bottom center, just beside that lip line. And then we're going to round that out to the outside corner. Same thing on the other side. Give a step back, check your sides, make sure both sides are even. There we go. Okay, we don't really need to worry too much about blending and all that today because the KBD liquid lipstick is perfectly ready you don't have to worry about that. We're just using it to give ourselves a clean edge. So let's go ahead and grab that KBD. I just always like to mix it up. So we're just going to give it a little bit of a shake. Here we go. Look at that beauty. Okay, here we go. Start out in that Cupid's bow. And then fill that in. I'm going to go ahead and put that back in for the other side. There we go. There's the top. Putting that back in. Let's do the bottom. Okay, nice. And now we have a beautiful purple lip. Woo woo. I am so glad you are ready because guess what we're getting ready to do? We're getting ready to play with some Beetlejuice eyes. Happy birthday, Rachel. Okay, so this is how this is going to go. We're going to do something to the lips. We're going to come back to it because we need this liquid lipstick to be fully dried before we do it. So we're going to leave that alone for just a second. We're going to start some work on the eyes. When we get the eyes finished, then we'll come back and finish out the lips and you'll see what that's going to do. So I'm super excited about it. I can't wait. Okay, so we already have our eyes prepped and primed. But this is one thing for sure. Keep your primer near you because we're going to need it again for that cut crease here in just a second. So where are we going to be today, Wendy? So we're in the Culture palette. And so this, the Culture palette. And this is where we're going to be. We're going to be in this shade right here, which is called Teraba. We're going to be in this nice green right here. And then we're going to be over here in the Eco Was. And then we're going to be right here in the Edo. So we got 3 shades today. I know, isn't that weird? Well, if you count the glitter and the graphic liner. Anyways, so we're going to be again in Teraba. We're going to be in Eco Was. And then we're going to be in Edo. But actually, let's start first. Let's do a little bit of the E-jaw right here. We're just going to do that up on that brow bone. I don't have a lot of it left, but we'll make it work. So I'm going to grab, this is the Morphe M433. My eye is already protesting because it knows what's coming. I haven't even put anything on it yet. Okay. So go ahead and grab, this is an M433. We're going to go in that E-jaw right here. We're just going to swirl that around. We're going to get a little bit right up there on that brow bone. That's just going to give us something to blend into and just give us a nice, slightly shimmery, but not too much color up here. There we go. There we go. I'm going to set that brush down because we may or may not have to refer back to it. Okay, so now I'm going to grab, let's do it this way. Okay, this is an M321. This is kind of a fluffy smudger. We're going to start out with that one. And let's do the lighter color first, and then we'll do the darkest. So we're going to start out on that Eco Was right here. Just get a little bit of that on your tip. And we're going to go right here. And this does not right now need to look super pretty because we're going to do that cut crease here in just a minute. So we're going to do that Eco Was, do it right here. Eco Was again, and on that socket bone right there. Now we'll blend this out, so don't worry right now, but you're just going to give it a nice swath of color right there. Swath of color. Same thing on the other side. Okay, so now you look a little bit about a crazy person. Here's what we want to do. We want to make sure that when you look forward, you're seeing that color we just put down above the fold of your eye. So when you look forward, you want to see that above. That is, when we get our lashes and everything that we're going to be doing on today, you want to make sure that. Now, one thing for sure is, if you do not have hooded eyes, this is going to look a little better on you because you're really going to see that graphic liner that we're going to do later. If you have hooded eyes like me, you're really going to see it when you close your eyes. So, blink slow. Here we go. Okay. I'm just going to use that same brush because I can. And I'm going to go in that Edo right here. We're just going to get it right on the tip, the very, very tip. I'm actually going to pat my eye because I feel it already has a little bit of moisture. There we go. Okay. Tapping that. We're going to go right here on the outside. And we're just going to fill in that little space that we left. Okay. And now we're going to go to the underside of that line that we put on. And we're going to connect this just like that. And don't worry if it's like messy over here right now, because like I said, we're doing a cut crease, so it can be a little messy on the down. It doesn't matter. Okay. And let's go ahead and come out a little bit today because I know we're doing that graphic here in a minute. So there we go. If you have any fallout right now, go ahead and do that. Now you'll blend out that here in just a minute, but if you want to be preventative, go ahead and do that. So this is what we've got on this eye right now. Let's do that same thing on the other side. Then we'll blend out a little bit and do that cut crease. So again, we're just going right here. We're filling in that outside. We're going to go ahead and do underneath the line that we just put up here. And then we're going to bring it out just a little bit for that graphic liner we'll be doing in a minute. And I was taking a step back to make sure that the two sides were relatively even. There we go. Okay. Gonna dust off any fallout. And now let's work a little bit on our blending. So I'm gonna take that same brush that I was just using. I'm gonna tap it off on my tissue. I'm gonna go into that lighter color the Eco was. And right where those two colors join each other, I'm just gonna kind of go over that a little bit. We're just going to go right where that line is and blend those two together. Then we're going to take our fluffy brush that we put on the jaw with, and right where those two colors meet, we're just going to go over that. Just right on that join line right there, and just soften that out. There we go. Same thing on the other side. Right here. Right where those two lines meet each other, just kind of go back and forth. Don't spin the brush or anything kind of crazy like that. Just go back and forth. If you feel like you've muddied it a little bit, you can tap that brush off on your tissue, get a little e-jaw in there, and then just go back in. Make sure that inside corner is soft. There we go. Okay, let me tap this corner off. There we go. So this is what we've got right now. Actually, let's just go ahead. We're going to right here where these two colors are, just go over. I'm actually using the Edo to do this, or Edo. Right where those two colors meet, I'm just softening that a little bit. Now we've got a nice blend. So this is what we've got right now. A little bit crazy, not too crazy. Okay, so let's get our cut crease going, and then we'll work on that graphic liner. So, got a nice 2 shade of purple happening. We're gonna grab that primer, the Juvia's Place primer. I'm just gonna put a little tiny bit on the back of my hand here. That's way more of a tiny bit than you're gonna need, but that will work. Let's set this aside, and now I'm gonna grab, let's see what brush. Let's use this one here. I think I like this one too. Okay, this is a Morphe M410, and we're gonna just take that and go right there into that. We're gonna get that on just one side, and let's give us a nice line up here. There we go. We're just going to go about 3/4 of the way across. And I'm just going to kind of go right into where that purple color is. There we go. And I turned it sideways and just kind of tap, 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 so it got a little blend out looking. Now let's do that same thing on the other side. Using the nice squared flat edge of that. A little bit more. There we go. We're going to fill this in. And then we're just going to use the side of it right there. Just making sure my heights are the same. I think that one's just a tad bit higher. Okay, there we go. I like that there. Now I feel like this one went a little wider. So let's go here. Just bring that tail out just a little tiny bit. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to wipe that off because I don't like to leave that I don't like to leave that primer on the brush too long. I just don't want it to get all, goopy, gooey, whatever. So now we've got all this going on. What are we going to do? We're going to grab this right here, which is a kind of a large smudger. This is a Morphe M213. This is going to allow us to control the green that we're fixing to put on a little bit and minimize the possibility of fallout. So we're only going to do shadow on one side of our brush. So go ahead and grab that M213. We're going to go into that Taraba right here. Get that color on one side. And you're just going to press that into that area that we just did with that eye primer. Just cover over that concealer. There you go. Or, well, I mean, you could use concealer for it too. So whatever it was that you used to get that cut crease. Going all the way from the roots there, that inner corner, and then covering over. There we go. And we're also going to use that right here. And let's go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll work a little bit on that blend. So we're just filling in. And then let's get right up here. Okay. Now that I've got that green in there, I want a nice blend right here on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that EcoWaz right here. And I'm just going to kind of put that right there to make sure our blend is nice and soft. There you go. And we'll come back to that green with something in just a minute. Let's go ahead and do the under eye area, and then we're going to play with the graphic liner just a little bit. So this is what we've got right now. We've got our green, we've got that cut crease going on, we've got our 2 shades of purple. Let's add the color on the under part of the eye, and then we're going to do some fun stuff up on the top. So I'm just going to use that. So actually, let me use a smaller smudger because I see this expanding. Okay, so I'm going to grab the small smudger, which is an M508, I think. 508, maybe a 506. We're going to grab that Culture palette. Let's go ahead and grab the Edo right here. We're just getting it on that tip of that color. Just on the tip. We're going to go from the outside edge. And with this one, we're coming all the way in. You're going all the way to the inside corner with that. But we're getting smaller as we go. Okay. Using that same brush, using that same tip, we're going to go in EcoWaz a little bit. And now you're going to kind of be on the tip, but on the edge just a little bit. We're going to go just under that. And just blend that out a little bit. There we go. Now we'll come back in with the black eyeliner here in just a minute. But for right now, let's leave that just like it is. So now we've got an on the lid, we've got an under the lid. Let's work on our graphic liners. So I'm going to be using 2. And so far I've done this on the back of my hand, but I've not actually done it on my eyelids. So we're all just going to say a prayer that this works beautifully and according to plan, because it was great on the back of my hand. Okay, so this is a Profusion liner. You can use this. You can use the Epic Wear liner from NYX. That will work as well. But these are something that we're going to play with because these were part of the birthday gift that we were working on. So let's start with these. So this is a Profusion graphic liner. This one is the white and this one is the black. In this pack, there was also, I think it was a purple and a green. We're just not going to be using those for this look today. So these have like a, I don't know if you can hear it, but there's like a ball on the inside. So give it a little bit of a shake. Store these with the tip down when you're not using them. These have a beautiful pointed tip. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go from the inside corner. And we're just going to give ourselves a nice line from one side to the other side. I just want a nice thick line. And looks like I'm seeing a little bit of bleed here, so not super excited about that. Let's go ahead and do it. We're going to have to probably line over it a couple times to get a nice white. So let's go and do that same thing on the other side. Okay, I'm shaking it down every time. Let's go ahead and bring that outside corner out. Now, when my eye is closed, what I want to be able to do is to see a nice transition. I'm actually going to widen this just a little bit. Okay, that's what we got so far. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Hopefully exactly the same. Here we go. And then we're going to bring that in right across here. Let's go ahead and make this a little wider as well. There you go. Now you can see we're getting some nice white. Nice. Now we are going to be wearing lashes today, so I want this line a little bigger than you actually think you want because the lashes are going to kind of cover up the bottom part of it. So let's see if we can get this side to follow suit with as white as the other side. And give it a little shake down. There we go. Okay. So now we look like a completely crazy person. Hang on there. Hang on there. Because you're about to get crazier. Here we go. So we got a nice white line. We've got our colors going on. We're going to grab that graphic liner. And this is where the fun is going to begin. Okay, so uncap that. Well, if I can get there we go. Here we go. Nice, beautiful tip on there. We're going to start out with a nice thin line right against that lash line. And eventually your your lashes are going to cover that line up anyway. So let's go ahead and do it on the other side. There you go. So now we're going to add some stripes on the graphic white line that we just made to really give that flavor of that Beetlejuice. These are going to be vertical lines. So we're going to take our pen and we're just going to tap that down all the way to the very tip of that. And I want to leave the tip white. So I'm actually going to start here and I'm just going to place that tip on there. There you go. Now we're just going to keep going all the way down. I think this particular thing might actually be easier with the NYX liner. Here. I'm going to grab the NYX ink. I just feel like it might be a little bit easier. There we go. Get a little more color on there. And you really want to try to keep your blinking at a minimum while you are doing this part. Trust me when I say that is easier said than done. And then I see I got a little bit of that liner on some of my lashes, so let's just tap that off. There we go. So now we got one eye down. Let's go ahead and do the other side. We're just going from the top of that white to the black eyeliner line we made. Let's get that a little bit. There we go. Okay. Like I had a little drip of black eyeliner. That's no fun at all. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. Kind of cool, huh? There you go. I'm loving it so far. Okay, now we want to give a little pizzazz to that green area we got. So we're going to grab our glitter that we've got. And I'm going to use, actually, I want a little bit, but I don't want too much. Let's do this one. This is an IT Cosmetics. It's a Velvet Luxe Precision Line number 326. Just a nice kind of thin brush. This is a face and body glitter. So one thing that this has on it is that it is a little what I would call maybe in the sticky category. So we don't want to put too much on there because we don't want to end up with sticky on our lid. So we're just going to take that right there in that green, and we're just going to get it on one side and right there on that top edge. We're just going to add a little bit of that right there. I'm going to go maybe 2 widths down and do that one more time. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Beetlejuice. Someone didn't know about the Beetlejuice reference. So, yes, I think I forget sometimes that we're all from different countries and everybody may not have access to the same things. So this was a movie. Actually, I watched it so long ago, like when it came out, so I really don't even remember what the movie itself was about. But this Beetlejuice was a character in the movie, and this really, it's an inspiration from, but it doesn't really look like what he looks like. So that would be a little kind of creepy. So now we've got a little bit of this. I'm just putting it on that top edge. Okay, so, and I'm going to wipe that off because I don't want to leave that glittery stuff on that brush either. Okay, so now that we got that going on, let's go ahead and give ourselves a little bit of line on the bottom. So somewhere in this pile of tools, there we go, I have my black liner. This is the, oh, I feel sneeze. Excuse me. This is the Juvia's Place Egyptian pencil liner. We're going to use that on the bottom. And for this look, we're going to go from one side all the way to the other side, and we're going on the waterline. I know. But this is not like your normal thing. So hopefully when I dab that, that will not remove anything. There we go. Okay, so right on that lash line here. Hold on. I see that I have a little bit. Let me move the brushes over here. I need a tiny, tiny bit somewhere in all of this. I got a little smudging happening right there. Okay, so there we go. That fixed that. It just wasn't blended out nice and pretty. Okay, so we're going to take our pencil. I'm actually going to give it a sharp point. There we go. Now we're going to go on that lash line on the bottom. And you're going from one side all the way to the other side, and then we're doing the water line as well. So all the things down there today. Let's do the same thing on the other side. And then the water line as well. Okay. Woo woo! You can see, oh my gosh, this is so much ridiculousness. Look at that. How fun is that? Even if you don't know what Beetlejuice is or whatever, that's just a whole lot of fun. I'm gonna see if I can. I got that tiny bit. Here, let me do this. I got a tiny bit of the eyeliner transferred. So let me show you. I'm going to grab just a flat brush, a tiny bit of concealer, like literally a tiny, tiny bit of concealer. Here we go. We're going to see if we can touch that right there. And erase that. And then, because that is up underneath there and I hate to feel sticky, I'm going to use the same brush. I'm going to take my powder. I'm just going to get a little tip on there, tap it out, and let's just cover that up. Let's just set that with the powder. There you go. And that erases that little bit of eyeliner transfer that we had. Want to make sure that my purple is blended out here though, because I just kind of softened that a little. So let's just take that, whatever's on the brush, and just add that there. Okay, so I told you that we were going to add something to our lips once our lip dried. Yay! There we go. Yay! Okay, so let's get our lips done. So we're gonna take that same palette that we have, and we're gonna go into this purple color here. I'm just gonna get that on the tip of my finger, and I'm gonna put that. Oh wait, but not all the way. Why is that, Wendy? Because we're gonna do something else on her lips. So I'm gonna grab the white that we have. Let me, I actually took a picture of this. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna grab that white that I have here. And on the outside corner over here, are you ready for this, Rachel? I didn't tell you about this. Here we go. You're gonna color in let's do a third of the way. Let me shake that down. Shake it down again. And I'm just giving a nice wide smile so I can get in all the nooks and crannies. That looks weird. So I can get all the nooks and crannies of the lips over there. Okay, now that we got that crazy happening, let's fan that down a little bit. Grab that black graphical. Actually, let me just use the Epic Wear again, since that works so nice up on the top. Oh, how about not the white one? Let's grab the black one. There we go. I'm just brushing off one side, and here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go like this. Okay, a little bit more liner. There you go. Here, let's go ahead and let's do this. No, my mouth is watering. Okay, now back to the glitter. So we got that little bit of black and white stripe going on there. Now we're gonna grab that glitter with our finger. There you go. Now, I'm gonna have to leave my mouth separated for a minute so it doesn't transfer to the top. Okay. Let's go ahead and do our brows now. Did I even bring my brow product? Of course I did not. Well, that's fine. Let me see what colors I got in here. Maybe I could just do it with something in here. Here, let's just make it up with this. Okay, let's take, I'm gonna do a liner brush. This is MAC something something. Here we go. I'm a little bit pink and a little, oh, you know what? Let's do the blue. I'm gonna do the blue because I have the blue on the side. So I'm just gonna grab this right here. We're definitely going to need a setting spray today. Okay, grabbing that blue again. There you go. Now that might be a little smoother, and actually if I was to do this again and think about it before I started, I would actually spray a little setting spray on the back of my hand, dip this in there, and then grab the setting spray. But this will work since I've already done it. Okay. So yet another way that you can get a brow when you have fashion colored hair. So let's see what we got. We got our graphic line, we got our eye, we've got our green glitter. And I feel like that glitter is making my crease turn into sort of a mushy mess. So let's just put a little of that right there. I'm just tapping that into that Teraba, trying to minimize that creasing that's happening. Okay, so let us add a little mascara and our lashes. So I'm gonna use my eyelash curler. There we go. This is the Tweezerman Onyx Great Grip Eyelash Curler. Let's get a little curling. Make sure that you don't get too close to your eyelid when you do this, or it'll probably remove a little bit of that graphic liner. So keep it pulled away. There you go. And we're just going to say, let's see, the verse that's in front of us. The very moment that you separate body and spirit, you end up with a corpse. Separate faith and works, and you get the same thing, a corpse. And that is James 2:25 and 26. Do the other side. There we go. The same with Rahab, the Jericho harlot. Wasn't her action in hiding God's spies and helping them escape that seamless unity of believing and doing what counted with God? Okay, there we go. We just need a little bit because we're going to have lashes on. Okay, so I am using, this is the KVD, Go Big or Go Home. And this is actually a travel size. Let me make sure I get it the right way. There we go. So we're going to be using this mascara here because we just need a little something on our lashes so that they blend in with the false lashes that we're doing today. And I'm actually going to be cracking open a new kind. I've used the brand, but I haven't used this particular one before. But I liked the shape of it, and I thought it would go well with this look that we have today. And due to that graphic liner, my lashes are like a clumpy, sticky thing. But it doesn't really matter because we're going to have false lashes on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that mascara on the other side as well. Okay, And now we're going to do the bottom lashes. With the bottom lashes, you want to do those the same as just the regular, because you're not going to get falsies on them. So let's just go ahead and get mascara on those. This KVD mascara, Go Big or Go Home, is a water resistant formula. So just normal wearing, and then also if you were to cry or whatever, this would be totally fine. If you went swimming, this would not be the mascara for that. But it's perfect for a great wedding mascara. I'm just not really a travel size mascara person, but it was in a pack that came with the travel size, so there you go. Okay, let's go ahead and do the other side. Okay. I feel like it needs like maybe just a little bit more on the bottom. There you go. Much better. Okay, let's go ahead and do that on the other side too. That balanced out much better doing it that way. Okay. Wow, my lashes are a disaster. Okay, it's a good thing we're wearing false lashes. Okay. So what lashes am I going to be wearing today? Today, I am using the Lash Couture Faux Mink collection. This particular one is called Sakine. And so we're going to be using those. These are a curl. I like the uneven nature of it. And I felt it was a little kind of unusual cockeyed sort of thing that I thought would really help with what we're doing. So, oh, it looks like I have worn this before. Okay, so we're going to grab our lash tool, which is somewhere. There it is. We're going to grab that lash from the outside edge there. Let's pull that off that tray. So I feel like I don't think I've wore these. I'm just going to give a little wow, that's a long. I'm going to give these a little trim on the outside edge just because they seem a little long. And I find it hard to believe that I've wore these before because I do see shadow, but there's still the adhesive from the packaging on it. So that's a little, I don't remember. I knew I pirated the glue out of them. So let me just, these look, okay, that just shredded. So, well, that's interesting. Let me just grab another pair out of there. I'm going to grab that from the outside edge. Wow, the adhesive holding these in the tray. Look at that. Okay, that is not cool. Okay, let's try this. Your adhesive on your tray should not be so strong. It just ripped a second one. Okay, maybe we're not wearing these lashes today. One more pair. We have one more pair. Let me not do this. Let me do this very, very carefully. This doesn't really give me good hope about. There we go. At least I got it off. Okay, there's one. See if we can get the second one off without it doing anything. Wow, these are not a pre-glued. These are not a pre-glued, so that's a little excessive. Okay, back to what we were doing. Let's go ahead and give a little trim on that. Here we go. give a little trim on the other side. And these have like a white, I'm not sure about this. They have like a white filmy liner on it, which is going to be weird. I'm afraid to take it off. See that? I'm kind of afraid to take it off because the other one ripped. Okay, I'm flicking adhesive everywhere. Here we go. So real life, people, this is why we do a live, so you can see what happens and how you fix it. Okay, let's see if we can get that. That's just so weird. So I guess these are going to not be a 14-time use. These are going to be more like a one-time. Here we go. Let me get the little nub. Get the little nub. There we go. Okay. Well, that was complicated. Okay, let's go ahead and grab our adhesive now. This is the Allure 18-hour lash glue. Yes. True. One good thing is, yeah, you do learn how to fix things when you're in the thick of it. Because sometimes that's important to know how to do. What do you do if that happens? Hopefully you have a tray of 5 different lashes. Okay, so we're gonna put that adhesive right on the top of that band. Let me get rid of that little clumpy thing. There we go. We're just having a lash thing today, aren't we? Okay, let's get that adhesive on the back of that lash band because I feel like we're definitely gonna want to make sure these lashes stay put because that was not a good experience. That was not cool. Okay, that's one lash. Well, there we go. Now let's go ahead and grab the other one. Get that adhesive on there. Oh, got a troll. Hold on. Troll. Add to block list. There we go. And we're going to get that right there on the top of that band. Then we're going to add that to the back of the band as well. See, there's 2 little lash hairs that have gone a little crazy, so we'll trim those off here in just a second too. Okay, we're going to make sure that we catch those outside corners of that lash. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. I hope you can see it. You see that little crazy hair right here? That little bad boy is going to be the bane of your existence all day long if you do not trim it. There we go. Okay, so we're going to set that down in front of us. We're going to pray that when we put these on, they behave themselves. These have a little bit of a flare, so you can see the lash on the inside is shorter than the lash on the outside. So we're going to take this and put that right in here. Wow, these are just being ornery. Okay, there's that one. Let's get the other side. Let's do this just a little bit because that one seemed like it was a little stiff, although it looked like it had a good curve to it. Okay, here we go. On the other side, right on that liner line. Okay. And in the defense of Kiss Lashes, I have no idea how long that lash set has been in my drawer, but it was unopened, so that's a little weird. Okay. Now, I definitely don't want any of this going anywhere all day long, so I am going to grab my Ready, Set, Sealed. Let's give that a shake. We're going to set this. A little extra because my brows are a powder. And there we go. We got a little Beetlejuice, channeling our inner Beetlejuice. We got a glittery lip with a fun graphic liner, some glitter. Lots of fun happening here today. Definitely not your everyday look, but happy birthday, Rachel. So it has been a joy to hang out with you here today. I have been having so much fun with you, and I love suggestions, and actually in a kind of a strange moment, I was asked earlier today of some colors that would look good with green or brown eyes, and while this might be outside of the norm, this would actually make a green or a brown eye pop. So have fun with these colors. So thanks so much for hanging out with me this morning. It has been a delight to be with you. Let me get if I can find my mouse. There we go. Let us get looking at our verses. Now, this is chapter 1. Let's just go ahead and go through. I think 13 begins chapter 2. Nope. Let's go back one slide. Let me go. Okay, there we go. James chapter 2. This is our review week, so let's take a look going through. Well, if I can find myself here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so no, this is not. Hold on. I've lost myself. Okay, there we go. Okay, so whether you've been with us a while or not, you can read the cards with us and let us work through James chapter 2. So, my dear friends, don't let public opinion influence your life. Influence how you live out your glorious Christ-oriented faith. If a man enters your church wearing an expensive suit and a street person wearing rags comes in right after him, and you say to the man in the suit, "Sit here, sir. This is the best seat in the house," and you either ignore the street person or you say, "You better sit here in the back row." Haven't you segregated God's children and proved that you are judges who can't be trusted? Listen, dear friends, isn't it clear by now that God operates quite differently? He chose the world's down and outers as the kingdom's first citizens with full rights and privileges. This kingdom is promised to anyone who loves God. And here you are, excuse me, and here you are abusing these same citizens. Isn't it the high and mighty who exploit you and who use the courts to rob you blind? Aren't they the ones who scorn the new name Christian used in your baptisms? You do well when you complete the royal rule of the scriptures. Love others as you love yourself. But if you play up to these so-called important people, you go against the rule and you stand convicted by it. You can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose these ones, specializing in one and specializing keeping one or two of these things and ignoring the others. The same God who said, don't commit adultery also said, don't commit murder. Do you think if you don't commit adultery, but you go ahead and commit murder, your non-adultery will cancel out your murder? No, you are a murderer, period. Talk and act like a person expecting to be judged by the rule that sets us free. For if you refuse to act kindly, you can hardly expect to be treated kindly. Kind mercy wins over harsh judgment every time. What's the first word? Oh, okay. Dear friends, there you go. Dear friends, do you think you'll get anywhere in this life if you learn all the right words but never do anything? Does merely talking about faith indicate that a person really has it? For instance, if you come upon an old friend dressed in rags and half starved and say, "Oh, good morning, be friend, be filled, be clothed in Christ, be filled with the Holy Spirit," and you walk off without even providing a coat or a cup of soup, where does that get you? Isn't it obvious that God talk without God acts is outrageous nonsense? I can already hear one of you agreeing by saying, "Sounds good. You take care of the faith department and I'll take care of the works department." Not so fast. You can no more show me your works apart from your faith than I can show you my faith apart from your works. Faith and works and faith, they fit together hand in glove. Okay, and do I hear you professing to believe in the one and only God, but then observe you complacently sitting back as if you had done something wonderful? That's just great. Demons do that. But what good does it do them? Use your heads. Do you suppose for a minute that you can cut faith in and works in two and not end up with a corpse on your hands? Oh, sorry, I forgot to click the thing. There you go. And this was a screen that got a little messed up last week. So wasn't our ancestor Abraham made right by God's works when he placed his son Isaac on the sacrificial altar? Isn't it obvious that faith and works are yoked partners, that faith expresses itself in works, that the works are works of faith? The full meaning of believe in the scripture sentence, Abraham believed God and was set right with God. It includes his action. It's that weave of believing and acting that God named Abraham God's friend. Is it not evident that a person is made right with God not by barren faith, but by faith in fruitful works? And then we're to the verse that we learned last week. Same with Rahab, the Jericho harlot. Wasn't her action in hiding the spies and helping them escape that seamless unity of believing and doing what counted with God? The very moment that you separate body and spirit, you end up with a corpse on your hand. End up with a corpse, period. There we go. Separate faith and works and you get the same thing, corpse. All right. So again, all of the scriptures that we have said so far, they're coming from Color Me James, which is a Bible study workbook, games, puzzles designed to get you through the book of James. We're using the Message translation because it's more conversational, a little bit easier to memorize as we break up these stories into little bite-sized pieces. So you can get that on a little bit of a whole lot of Jesus.com. No matter when you start, I have started an email series that will walk you through. Every week you get delivered to your inbox the video for it, the graphics for it, the phone wallpaper, the daily activities. And so that's just so that no matter when you start, you can be right there with us, working through it with us. Okay, so what else we got? Oh, we got the Beauty and Grace Insider. So this is where all the perks and bonuses happen. We're gonna start working on some giveaways. YouTube's a little bit funny about how to do giveaways, so that's been a little bit interesting. But we're gonna start working that there. That Cherished Queen Beauty Insider, that actually gives you the ebook for free. So do that membership level. That is a monthly thing that happens. And so check that out on YouTube, youtube.com at Little Makeup, Lot of Jesus. All right. Oh, and then join. Okay, so let me give you a blessing and then we will head out for our week. So from Numbers chapter 6, verse 24 through 26, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and give you a face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. All right, Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for the colors that you created in creation. What a magnificent being, mind. Oh my gosh, it's just so awesome. We could never come up with such a thing. I am just in amazement and awe at your grandeur and beauty. And I thank you for making us women, Father, that designed in your image, that we can use those colors to play every single day and to be reminded how the colors set in the sky are an indicator, a reminder of how gracious you are to us and how you saved us from that great flood all so many years ago. Father, I just pray that you would give us a blessing this week as we are constantly reminded walking through the book of James how important works and faith are. Father, give us that special moment this week where we can actually execute what we have learned so far in chapter 1 and 2 of James. Give us that moment where we can have our faith and our works work together hand in hand. Show us that. Remind us of that. Bring that scripture to our mind at that very moment. And then help us to take these words, Father, to not just encourage ourselves, while it's great to hide it in our heart, but that we would share those with others at a moment that is appropriate to encourage and edify another believer. Or maybe we're going to use that scripture to help someone in a moment of talking about Jesus and how belief in Jesus is the way to the Father. Father, I just thank you for all these women, and I pray that you would bless us this week as we go out. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Well, it has been an absolute delight to hang out with you this week, and I look forward to seeing you on social media. Maybe not Facebook yet because I'm still in jail, but look forward to seeing you on social media throughout the week. Hit me up on Instagram and TikTok. Those are still functioning correctly, and I love you, and I can't wait to see you next week. Show me your inspiration this week that you do of your look, looking at, oh my gosh, I forgot his name, at Beetlejuice. Okay, y'all have a great week. I love you. Mwah.